Good Sunday morning, everybody. This is me drawing every day for a year. This is week number 43. Let's get into it. So I only did a few sketches in my large sketchbook, so I'll show that first. The first spread is another capture of my coworker Emmanuel. This time he was quite patient with me and sat for 15 minutes, I believe it was. And that's the result, and he liked it. And he said, "Oh, I want this drawing." So I'm like, "Well, no, you can't because it's my sketchbook." But I think he was a little disappointed by it. But he could take a photo of it, or I could scan it for him. This next shot is, this next drawing was done the next evening, I believe. And it's a self-portrait drawing of me with Mickey Mouse. And the Mickey Mouse didn't turn out too well, but I had this idea of pairing a realistic drawing like myself with an animated character and trying to make it work as a real life subject beside me. Still working on that. Again, this is another coworker, Yanni, and I really like this one. I like how he started napping with his head on the table and then moved to a more stretched out pose, I guess. And I like that. I've always liked that type of juxtaposition of cramming the same subject into the same space and overlapping it a bit. I'd like to do a painting like that. I'm not too sure if I could pull it off, but yeah, that's always on my mind. And then the last drawing in my large sketchbook is my father in various different poses. Again, cramming imagery into a tight space. I kind of like that. And then taking a riff off of the Vitruvius Man. This is the Vitruvius Mouse. Again, using Mickey Mouse as the subject matter here. Now, jumping into my small sketchbook. This is, again, my coworker Majid, this time with a bit more of a background. Majid is always a great person to draw because, like I said in my last week's videos, he has a very unique and difficult face for me to draw, try to capture accurately. And yeah, he's an ongoing challenge, but I like that I included some of his environment now as opposed to a standalone subject. Some items on my dad's hospital table, just a hospital still life, if you will. Trying to get the proportions right. It's there, but I think I had the perspective a bit off. But again, it's a nice little exercise to just try to understand proportions relative to each other. So 3 objects, and are they the right size in relation to the next object and then the next object? Subway sketching, very straightforward drawings. When I saw this gentleman, I was like, I gotta sketch him. He has this round, very round face, easy to draw, very stereotypical, like based on the circle, and then the halfway of that circle with eyebrows, halfway of that below. That first halfway mark is the nose. It's very, very straightforward drawing. This was in the warehouse space in the storage room, and again, a realistic scene like the self-portrait I showed you earlier, and then superimposing Mickey Mouse within the scene. I got this idea from watching a James Gurney. He's this amazing illustrator artist who I follow. He does a lot of gouache studies, plein air gouache studies, beautiful paintings. But he's known also for his dinosaur paintings. He has this whole Dinosaurtopia, I guess, series. But he was at this plein air meetup with other artists where they painted a real life scene and then superimposed a fantasy character. In his case, it was a Mario brother, Luigi, or Mario. It was Mario. Super sized Mario in this a realistic setting, and I was like, oh, that's a really great idea. So I tried doing it in this scene. I'm not too sure it works very well because there's so much attention paid to the Mickey Mouse character and everything is lost in it. So I think I have to do a bit more shadow work in the real life scene, and then it'll balance out the heaviness of the Mickey Mouse. More subway sketches. This was on a bus. I hate drawing on buses. They're just way too bumpy, but you know, it's practice. To me right now, it's all about just drawing anything and everything and practicing. And this was the last sketch of week 43, just a series of people on public transit. Lately, I've been taking a lot of buses to go down to the hospital to visit my dad, and when I'm coming home, I'll intentionally take a later bus and just stand at the platform and draw people. This actually drawing was done on the bus, and it was still a bumpy ride, but I really like how that profile of that woman turned out. So that's it. That's a very short, abbreviated week for me for week number 43. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I will answer them for sure. I hope you have a great week this week. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.